Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive with us.
Yes, welcome back.
Today we're going to be diving into the world of TCM,
Ooh, TCM.
and we're going to be looking at it through the lens of mental health.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
mental health through the eyes of traditional Chinese medicine.
Precisely.
All right, I'm intrigued.
And you might be surprised to learn just how much this ancient system,
Ancient.
which has been around for over 2,500 years,
Wow.
has to say about conditions we grapple with every day.
Yeah.
Insomnia,
Oh, yeah.
anxiety, depression, even brain fog.
Okay, so
Yeah.
things that a lot of people are struggling with these days.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because TCM sees the mind and body as completely interconnected.
Yes, and that's a big difference from
Okay.
how we see things in the West.
Absolutely. It's not about treating symptoms in isolation.
Nope.
It's about restoring the overall balance within your system.
I like that.
Yeah.
Restoring balance.
It's a really beautiful way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So we have a stack of fascinating sources here. Ancient texts, clinical studies, expert interviews that reveal how TCM views these mental health challenges as imbalances, not just things to be fixed.
Okay, so it's not just like a broken part that needs to be.
Right. It's not like taking an Advil to fix a headache or something like that.
Yeah.
It's about looking at the root cause of why this is happening.
Right, and how everything is connected.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So TCM doesn't aim to simply mask symptoms.
Yep.
It seeks to understand the root cause of the imbalance.
Root cause.
Yes, and address that directly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It's a very different approach. That's so interesting that so much of Western medicine is focused on symptom management. TCM takes a completely different approach.
It does. A key concept here is qi.
Qi.
Yes, the vital energy that flows through your body.
That's the vital energy that flows through all of us.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and then there's this concept of yin and yang,
Okay.
the opposing forces that need to be in harmony for you to be healthy.
It's like a whole different language for understanding how we function.
Precisely. And today we're going to be your translators.
I love that.
We'll unravel how these ancient concepts relate to modern mental health challenges, and most importantly, uncover specific remedies and techniques you can actually use in your own life.
Yes.
And we'll even delve into modern research that's starting to validate what TCM has known for millennia.
So bridging that gap between ancient wisdom and modern science.
I love it.
All right, let's rewind the clock a bit.
Okay.
Our sources take us all the way back to ancient China, to texts like the Huangdi Jing, which is considered a cornerstone of TCM.
The cornerstone.
The Huangdi Jing attributes mental illness to disruptions in the flow of qi
Okay.
through the body's 5 organ systems.
5 organ systems now, when we talk about organs in TCM, is that the same as how we understand organs
That's a great question.
in Western medicine?
Because it's not, in TCM, these aren't just the physical organs we think of. They represent broader metaphorical systems.
Okay, so it's more like...
Right. So it's not just about your heart pumping blood, but about your heart system and its energy, right?
Exactly. You have the heart, lung, spleen, kidney, and liver systems,
Okay.
each with its own role and energetic influence.
Oh, sure.
The Huangdi Jing links mental and emotional well-being to the balanced flow of qi through these systems.
Balance, that seems to be a recurring theme.
It is. Balance is everything.
Right. And it also suggests that things like excessive emotions or certain activities can throw that qi flow out of whack.
Yeah, too much of anything can disrupt the flow.
Again, it comes back to balance.
Balance is the cornerstone of health in TCM.
Yes. And, it's so interesting because it's not about eliminating emotions altogether, but about ensuring they're not overwhelming your system.
Right. So we need to feel our emotions.
Yes.
But we don't want to be ruled by them.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating that TCM was already emphasizing the mind-body connection thousands of years ago.
That's amazing.
We're only starting to fully appreciate that in the West.
Yeah.
And TCM's understanding has evolved over time.
Yeah.
Around the 11th century, texts begin to focus more on the idea of qi stagnation.
Stagnation.
As a major factor in depression.
So qi stagnation, what does that feel like?
So qi stagnation is like that feeling of being stuck.
Okay.
Like your energy can't move forward. You might feel heavy, lethargic, lacking motivation.
Okay.
Perhaps your digestion is sluggish.
Yeah.
Or you have aches and pains that seem to linger.
Interesting.
Emotionally, there's a sense of frustration.
Yeah.
Hopelessness, like you're trapped.
I can see how that would lead to depression.
Right.
Yeah.
Our sources also mentioned a 14th century physician named Zhu Yangxi,
Okay.
who used talking cures to treat depression.
Talking cures. So this was like ancient therapy.
It sounds almost like a precursor to modern psychotherapy.
That's fast.
It highlights that even centuries ago, TCM practitioners understood the importance of addressing mental and emotional well-being as part of the healing process.
Yeah, because they're all connected, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now, I know some people might be wondering, is TCM really scientific?
That's a good question.
And it's a valid question and a common misconception.
Yeah.
While TCM has its own unique framework and language, it's rooted in thousands of years of observation and practice.
Okay.
It's a system that has been refined and honed through generations of healers, carefully observing how the body responds to various treatments.
So it's based on observation and experimentation.
Right, and as our sources point out, modern scientific research is actually starting to catch up, validating the effectiveness of many TCM practices.
Cool.
Take, for example, the case of arsenic trioxide.
Arsenic.
Yeah,
That.
it's been used in TCM for centuries,
Uh-huh.
and now it's an FDA-approved treatment for a specific type of leukemia. So this demonstrates the potential of ancient wisdom to inform modern medical breakthroughs.
That's really cool.
So we've established that TCM has this incredible history
Yes.
and is starting to be backed by science.
Okay.
But how does it actually work? What are some of the healing modalities it uses?
Okay, so how does TCM actually work?
Yeah,
Well, acupuncture is probably the most well-known in the West.
I would say so.
But in China, herbal formulas are actually considered the primary modality.
Really, I would have thought acupuncture was the main thing.
Interesting.
Tell me more about these herbal formulas.
They're not just single herbs. Think of them like carefully crafted recipes,
Okay.
combining multiple herbs, each with its specific function and purpose.
And our sources mentioned this Zhongzhen Zoshi model.
Okay.
For creating these formulas, it's like each ingredient has a specific role to play.
Exactly. The jun is the primary herb, the star of the show, targeting the main imbalance.
Okay.
Then you have the chen herb, which assists the jun and enhances its effectiveness.
So the Jun is the lead singer, and the Chen is like their backup vocalist,
I love that analogy.
harmonizing with them.
Perfect.
Okay.
Then we have the zuo, which addresses secondary symptoms or imbalances. Think of it like the bass player laying down the foundation.
Right.
And finally, the shi herb helps to harmonize the formula and guide it to the right areas of the body.
So that's like the drummer,
The drummer.
keeping the rhythm.
Yes, keeping everything in sync.
So it's like a whole band working together to create the desired effect.
Yes, that's a great way to think about it.
That's amazing. I remember reading about one formula, Xiaoya-san,
Okay.
which is often used for stress and mood swings.
For stress and mood swings, interesting.
Yes, in that formula, the Jun herb Chaihu helps to soothe liver key stagnation, the root cause of those mood swings.
Okay.
Then you have Dangyi the Chen, which nourishes the blood and supports Chaihu's action.
Awesome.
And what about the other herbs?
Well, Bai Xiao the zuo eases muscle tension and cramps that often accompany stress. And finally, Gan Kao the shi harmonizes the other herbs and guides them to the digestive system, which is often affected by stress.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Each herb playing its part,
Yeah.
working in synergy.
Synergy.
It's a beautiful system.
It is.
Now, I know some people might be a little wary of herbal medicine,
Yeah.
especially when they hear the word toxicity.
I can understand that.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
However, just like some Western pharmaceuticals, certain herbs can have a level of toxicity.
Of course.
The key is that TCM practitioners understand how to mitigate that
Right.
through careful formulation and preparation.
So it's about using the right herbs in the right amounts and combinations.
Precisely. And it's important to remember that these herbs have been used for thousands of years.
Right.
So their effects and potential risks are well documented.
It's like a very well-researched system in a way.
It's not about haphazardly throwing herbs together.
No, definitely not.
It's a precise and nuanced system developed over generations.
Generations and generations of knowledge.
So we've got herbal formulas.
Okay.
What other tools are in the TCM toolbox?
Well, acupressure is another widely used modality.
Acupressure.
It involves applying pressure to specific acupoints on the body to stimulate energy flow and restore balance.
So it's like acupuncture, but without the needles.
Exactly.
And then there's moxibustion,
Moxibustion.
where they burn mugwort near specific points on the body.
Yes.
That one always sounds a bit intimidating to me, but I hear it can be very effective.
It can be very effective for certain conditions.
Okay.
But let's talk about something a little more soothing.
Okay.
5-element music therapy.
Music as therapy. This sounds intriguing.
It is 5-element music therapy, combines the theory of the 5 elements wood, fire, earth, metal, water with the Chinese pentatonic scale.
Whoa.
It's traditionally played on instruments like the dizi,
Okay.
the erhu, and the guqin,
Interesting.
creating incredibly calming and harmonizing sounds.
Wait, so specific musical tones and melodies can actually impact our well-being according to TCM?
Yes, it's believed that each element and musical tone resonates with different organs and energy systems in the body.
Okay.
By using specific combinations, 5-element music therapy aims to bring those systems back into harmony.
And there's actually research supporting this.
Studies have shown that listening to 5-element music can increase ATP production, which is essential for cellular energy,
Wow.
and boost glutathione levels, a powerful antioxidant.
Amazing.
It even appears to reduce oxidative stress at the cellular level.
That's incredible. It's like music can speak directly to our cells.
In a way, it can.
Wow.
And beyond music, TCM emphasizes the importance of food therapy, using specific foods to nourish and balance the body.
You know, I've always loved the saying, let food be thy medicine.
It's a good one.
But it sounds like TCM takes that quite literally.
Absolutely. TCM sees food as a powerful tool for healing.
And they emphasize.
It emphasizes the importance of warm-cooked foods to support digestion
Okay.
and fermented foods to nourish the gut microbiome.
Okay, so we've got herbal formulas, music therapy, food therapy. We do.
This is already a lot to take in.
It is a lot.
What else is in this TCM treasure chest?
There's qigong, a mind-body practice that combines movement breathing exercises and meditation.
Qigong. I've heard of qigong.
Yeah.
It always looks so graceful and fluid.
It can be incredibly relaxing and has both physical and mental benefits.
Yeah.
It's been used for centuries to improve circulation, reduce stress, and promote overall vitality.
Very cool. And finally, our sources mention this concept of yang sheng, which translates to nourishing life.
Nourishing life.
What's that all about?
Yangsheng is an ancient Chinese approach to wellness that emphasizes self-cultivation and proactive health practices.
Okay.
It's about creating a lifestyle that supports longevity and well-being, encompassing practices like qigong food therapy and mindfulness.
Like a philosophy of living in harmony with yourself and the world around you.
Exactly.
So we've got herbal formulas, music therapy, qigong yangsheng.
We do.
TCM seems to offer a truly holistic approach to health, addressing so many facets of our being. And that's one of its greatest strengths. It doesn't just treat the symptom, it addresses the whole person, mind, body, and spirit.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork
We have.
and explored the history, philosophy, and key modalities of TCM.
Okay.
Now let's get specific and see how it approaches those everyday mental health challenges we talked about.
Let's do it.
Let's start with insomnia,
Okay, insomnia.
that feeling we all know too well.
Yes, we do. Insomnia, it's that all too familiar feeling of tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling, just wishing you could drift off to sleep.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And TCM has a unique way of understanding why this happens.
So what's their take on it?
Our sources say it all comes down to the flow of qi and blood, those vital substances that TCM sees as the foundation of our health.
Right, qi and blood.
See, the ancient text Huangdi Neijing describes sleep as a process where the qi and blood that circulate on the surface of your body during the day
Okay.
flow inwards as you wind down, gathering in the organs to nourish and restore them while you rest.
So it's like they're going back to their home base.
It's exact.
To recharge.
And if there's a blockage or disruption to that inward flow, you end up struggling to fall asleep.
It's like traffic jam.
Exactly. It's like a traffic jam in your energy highways, preventing your body from transitioning into that restful state.
Oh.
TCM often describes this as yang cannot enter yin.
Yang cannot enter yin. So to sleep well, we need that yang energy to flow smoothly inward, allowing yin to take over.
Yes.
But what causes these blockages in the first place? I'm guessing stress has something to do with it.
Stress is definitely a major culprit,
Uh-huh.
but it's not the only one. Anxiety, overthinking, even an improper diet can all disrupt the flow of qi and blood, contributing to insomnia. Remember, TCM is all about balance.
Balance, right?
Yeah.
So when those internal or external factors throw things out of balance, our sleep suffers.
Precisely. And our sources highlight 2 organs that are particularly important for healthy sleep: the heart and the kidney.
The heart and the kidney, of course, the heart being the seat of the mind in TCM, needs to be calm and settled for you to fall asleep. And the kidney is all about that deep restorative energy we need to truly recharge overnight.
You got it. When the heart and kidney are in harmony, sleep comes naturally, but when they're out of balance, those sleep disturbances start to creep in.
And you mentioned that TCM doesn't just see insomnia as one thing.
Right.
It recognizes different patterns. So there's deficient vexation, which sounds like what happens when your mind just won't shut off.
That's a perfect description. Deficient vexation is that state of constant overthinking, worrying, replaying events in your head. It's like your brain is stuck in overdrive.
I know that feeling all too well. It's like you're exhausted, but your mind just won't stop
Yeah.
racing.
And all that mental activity ends up depleting your energy reserves, making it even harder to relax and fall asleep. It's a vicious cycle.
You're tired, but you can't sleep because you're thinking about being tired.
Exactly.
Our sources also mentioned liver blood deficiency as another insomnia pattern. We talked about the heart and the kidney, but how does the liver factor into sleep?
The liver in TCM is responsible for the smooth flow of qi and blood throughout the body. It's also closely tied to your emotions, particularly anger and frustration.
So if the liver is out of balance, our emotions can run wild, making it difficult to wind down and sleep.
Exactly. And when liver blood is deficient, it means your body's ability to nourish and restore itself is compromised. It's like running your car on fumes. Eventually, it's going to sputter and stall.
Ah, that's a good analogy.
And then there's a more severe pattern our sources describe as the inability to lie down. That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, that does sound pretty intense. What causes that kind of extreme insomnia?
It usually indicates a severe disconnect between the heart and kidney, with the heart's energy completely unable to settle and the kidney's restorative power significantly diminished.
So people experiencing this are essentially trapped in a state of constant wakefulness.
Sadly, yes.
That must have a devastating impact on their overall health.
You're right. It's a serious condition that requires careful attention and treatment.
But there is hope.
But the good news is, even for severe insomnia, TCM offers a variety of approaches that can help.
Okay, so let's talk solutions. Our sources mention a range of remedies, from herbal formulas to lifestyle adjustments.
Okay, let's dive in.
So where do we begin?
Let's start with the herbal formulas. One that's frequently recommended for insomnia is Tian Wang Bu Xin, which translates to Heavenly King, Tonify the Heart Special Pills. Quite a name, right?
Heavenly King, Tonify the Heart Special Pills. It does sound powerful.
Tian Wang Bu Xin is specifically designed to nourish the heart and calm the Shen, which is the spirit in TCM.
Okay,
It targets those anxious thoughts and worries that keep you up at night.
so it addresses both the physical and mental aspects of sleeplessness.
Exactly. It contains a blend of herbs that work together to soothe the nervous system, reduce heat and agitation, and promote deep relaxation.
Like a lullaby in a bottle.
Sort of.
What are some of the key players in this herbal orchestra?
Well, there's Huang Lian, which has a bitter taste that helps to clear what TCM calls fire that's disturbing the Shen. Think of it as cooling down those racing thoughts that keep you tossing and turning.
So it helps extinguish the mental flames that prevent you from falling asleep.
Exactly.
What else?
Huang Qin is another important herb in this formula. It helps to guide the fire energy downward, promoting a sense of calmness and ease.
And I see Yi listed as an ingredient that's a type of gelatin, right?
Yes, Yi Jiao is known for its ability to deeply nourish yin and blood. Remember how we talk about liver blood deficiency?
Yes.
Well, Yi Jiao helps to replenish those depleted energy reserves that are essential for restful sleep.
It's amazing how each herb has its own unique function and purpose, yet they work together so harmoniously. Yeah. What about techniques beyond herbal formulas? I know acupoints play a big role in TCM.
They do acupressure, which involves applying pressure to specific acupoints on the body, can be incredibly effective for insomnia.
And our sources highlight two acupoints in particular, Anmian and Taixi. Tell us about those.
An Aramian, meaning peaceful sleep, is located right behind your ear.
Okay.
Applying gentle pressure to this point can help release tension, calm the mind, and promote relaxation.
It sounds like a natural way to hit the off switch on your brain.
It can be very effective.
What about Taixi?
Taixi, which means supreme stream, is the source point of the kidney meridian. Remember how we talked about the kidney being essential for deep restorative sleep?
Yes.
Well, massaging Taixi can help to ground and center your energy, calm the spirit, and encourage that restful sleep we all crave.
So it's like giving your kidney a little boost to help you recharge overnight.
Precisely. And what's great about acupressure is that you can do it yourself anytime, anywhere, no special equipment needed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, what about foot soaks? I've heard those can be helpful for sleep as well.
Foot soaks are a wonderful tradition in Chinese culture, and for good reason, they tap into the numerous acupressure points on your feet, helping to relax your entire body.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Our sources mention that those hot foot baths also help to lower your core body temperature, which is essential for initiating sleep.
It's like gently signaling to your body that it's time to wind down and prepare for rest.
And you can even add herbs to those foot soaks to enhance their benefits, right?
Absolutely. Mugwort, which is also used in moxibustion, is a popular choice. It has warming and soothing properties that can help ease tension and promote relaxation.
And what about ginger?
Ginger is another great option.
Hmm.
It's known for its circulation boosting effects.
Yeah.
Ginger helps to warm and invigorate the body, promoting a sense of overall well-being and preparing you for a good night's sleep.
So you've got the warm water, the acupoints on your feet, and the added benefits of herbs. It's like a triple threat against insomnia.
I like it.
Our sources also mention tuina, which is a form of Chinese massage therapy. How does that factor into treating insomnia?
Tuina is a very hands-on approach using a variety of techniques to address imbalances in the body. For insomnia, focusing on the back and head can be particularly helpful.
That makes sense. That's where we tend to hold a lot of tension, especially when we're stressed.
Exactly. By releasing that tension, Tuina can help calm your nervous system and promote relaxation. It's like a full-body reset button for sleep.
I could use one of those. And of course, we can't forget about five-element music therapy. We talked about its cellular benefits earlier, but how does it actually work for insomnia?
Specific musical tones and melodies are believed to resonate with different organ systems, bringing them into harmony and promoting balance.
So for insomnia, you'd listen to music that specifically targets the heart and kidney.
Exactly. There are certain tracks known to be particularly effective for calming the spirit grounding energy and encouraging restful sleep.
Our sources actually provide a whole protocol with specific tracks to listen to at different times of day. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are there any other techniques TCM recommends for insomnia?
Yes, our sources suggest several breathing exercises, specific leg and foot massage techniques, and an intentional relaxation sequence that can all be helpful.
Let's talk about breathing exercises. Those are always a good go-to for relaxation.
One technique our sources mention is the healing soo sound. It involves making a long, slow shoo-soo sound as you exhale.
Interesting. What's the purpose of making that sound?
It's about releasing tension, calming the mind, and encouraging your energy to flow downward. Like you're guiding your energy towards that grounded, restful state that's conducive to sleep.
So it's not just the breath, it's the sound as well.
Exactly.
What about leg and foot massage? How does that help with insomnia?
It's a simple yet effective way to promote relaxation, improve circulation, and prepare your body for sleep. Remember, the feet are like a mini-map of your entire body in TCM.
Right. Massaging the feet can impact your overall well-being.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what about this intentional relaxation sequence you mentioned?
Yes.
This technique involves systematically focusing your attention on different parts of your body,
Okay.
starting with your wrists and hands, then moving to your feet, shoulders, elbows, hips, and so on. The goal is to consciously release tension in each area.
So it's about bringing awareness to your body and intentionally relaxing each part to help unwind before bed.
Exactly. It's a powerful way to unwind and let go of the day's stresses.
Wow. TCM really offers a holistic and multifaceted approach to insomnia. It's not just about forcing yourself to sleep. It's about creating a state of balance and harmony in both body and mind to allow sleep to happen naturally.
That's exactly right. It's about creating the optimal conditions for your body to do what it naturally wants to do, rest and restore itself.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered insomnia in depth now. Let's move on to another common challenge that affects many people: depression. TCM has a very different way of looking at this condition, right?
It does. While Western medicine tends to focus on brain chemistry, TCM views depression through the lens of key stagnation, blood deficiency, and emotional imbalances.
Right, those three big players that we keep coming back to.
They are key.
Our sources mention that TCM has a long history of treating depression with some herbal formulas, even outperforming Western medications in clinical trials.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, let's delve into how TCM understands depression. Our sources point to key stagnation as a primary factor. Remember how we talked about that feeling of being stuck, trapped, weighed down?
Yes, that feeling of just being...
Yeah, like your energy can't flow freely.
Exactly.
That's key stagnation. And it can manifest in so many ways, both physically and emotionally. You might experience fatigue, Low mood, loss of interest in things you used to enjoy.
Right.
It's like life loses its color and vibrancy, and you feel like you're just going through the motions.
Exactly. And TCM also links depression to the liver.
We talked about the liver in relation to insomnia, but how does it connect to depression?
In TCM, the liver is associated with the smooth flow of emotions. When liver qi is stagnant, it can lead to feelings of frustration, irritability, even anger.
So it's like our emotions get bottled up, and that eventually turns inward, leading to depression.
That's a great way to put it. And our sources also mention blood deficiency as a contributing factor to depression.
Right, so it's not just about the amount of blood in the body, but its quality and its ability to nourish and support our overall well-being.
Precisely. And when there's blood deficiency, you might experience fatigue, pale skin, cold hands and feet, and even low mood. It's like your body is running on low power and your mental state suffers as a result.
It's interesting how TCM connects those physical symptoms to depression. We don't always think of those things as being related.
TCM sees the body as a whole interconnected system. Everything is related, and it's not just the physical aspects. TCM also recognizes the profound impact of negative self-talk and past experiences on depression.
Our sources talk about how unresolved emotional issues and negative thought patterns can contribute to feelings of hopelessness and create a cycle of suffering that's hard to break free from.
It's like those negative thoughts become a mental rut, and it takes effort and the right tools to get out of it.
Okay, so TCM acknowledges the complex interplay of physical, emotional, and even psychological factors in depression. It's a truly holistic view. But what about solutions? What has TCM offered to help people struggling with depression?
Well, TCM has an array of tools to address those various layers of imbalance. Let's start with the herbal formulas. Our sources mention several that are commonly used for depression, including Xiaoyao Sanjia, Wei Xiaoyao San, and Dengi Simi Tang.
Let's break those down, starting with Xiaoyao San. What does that name mean?
It translates to free and easy wanderer, which is a beautiful way to describe what this formula aims to do. Help you feel more free and at ease emotionally. It's a classic remedy for addressing liver key stagnation and blood deficiency.
So it helps to smooth out those emotional knots and replenish your energy.
Exactly. And then there's Jiao Wei Shou Yao San, which is a modified version of Chao Yao San. It includes additional cooling herbs to calm the mind and reduce agitation.
That sounds perfect for those who experience depression along with anxiety and racing thoughts.
It can be very effective for that person. And then there's Dang Gi Si Ni Tang, which means dangi decoction for frigid extremities.
Frigid extremities, that sounds specific.
This formula is traditionally used to address blood deficiency and improve circulation, especially for those who experience cold hands and feet fatigue and a general lack of vitality.
So it's not specifically a depression remedy, but TCM practitioners have found it to be remarkably effective for certain types of depression.
Precisely, especially when there are clear signs of blood deficiency.
That's so interesting. It highlights the interconnectedness of seemingly unrelated symptoms in TCM. Okay, so we've got herbal formulas, but what about acupressure? Can that be used for depression as well?
Absolutely. Acupressure is another valuable tool for addressing depression. It can help to move stagnant qi, calm the mind, and promote a sense of well-being.
Our sources mention several acupoints that can be helpful, including Sigwan Yintang and Tanzong. Let's talk about those.
Siguan, meaning four gates, is a powerful combination of two acupoints, Hegu and Taichung. Stimulating these points helps to move qi and blood throughout the body, alleviating stagnation and lifting your mood.
So it's like opening those energetic gates to allow your energy to flow freely again.
Exactly. Then there's Yin Tang, located right between your eyebrows. It's known as the Hall of Impression and is often associated with intuition and insight.
It's like the third eye in many spiritual traditions.
Exactly. Applying pressure to Yin Tang can help to quiet the mind, reduce anxiety, and promote a sense of peace and clarity.
And what about Tensong?
Tensong, located in the center of the chest, is known as the chest center. It's a powerful point for regulating emotions, reducing stress, and promoting feelings of openness and connection.
So by stimulating these points, we can create a cascade of positive effects that help to lift our mood and alleviate depression.
You're absolutely right. It's about sending those signals of calm and balance throughout your entire system.
Now, beyond acupressure, our sources also mention Daoyin exercises as being helpful for depression. What are those?
Daoyin exercises are a beautiful blend of gentle movement and breath work. They're designed to promote the flow of qi release tension and harmonize your energy systems.
They sound like a moving meditation, which makes sense for depression.
They can be incredibly therapeutic, and there are specific Daoyin exercises recommended for addressing stagnation and emotional imbalances, for example. There's one for relieving rising qi, which is that feeling of pressure and tightness in your chest, and another for relieving knotted qi, that sense of being stuck and unable to move forward.
It's fascinating how TCM connects those physical sensations to emotional states.
It all comes back to that mind-body connection. Now, speaking of things that nourish both body and mind, let's talk about tea.
Tea, who doesn't love a good cup of tea? But it sounds like TCM sees tea as more than just a comforting beverage.
Tea has a long and rich history in Chinese culture, and it's considered a powerful medicine in TCM. Our sources highlight its benefits for depression, particularly pure tea.
Pure tea is that fermented tea with a deep, earthy flavor, right? What makes it so special for depression?
Recent research has shown that pure tea can actually reshape the gut microbiome, reduce neuroinflammation, and even alleviate depression-like behaviors in mice.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is.
It further validates the gut-brain connection that's becoming increasingly recognized in Western medicine as well. And for those who prefer other types of tea, like green tea, black tea, or oolong, is there any evidence that those can help with depression?
Yes, there are studies suggesting that these teas can reduce the risk of depression as well. They contain L-theanine, an amino acid that promotes relaxation and a sense of calm alertness. So no matter your tea preference, incorporating it into your routine can be a delicious way to support your mental well-being.
Okay, so we've got herbal formulas, acupressure, Dalian exercises, and tea. What else does TCM offer for depression?
Well, let's talk about feng shui.
Feng Shui, isn't that all about arranging furniture and decor to create a harmonious living space?
It is, but it's much more than that. Feng shui is an ancient Chinese practice that considers the flow of energy or qi in our environment and how it impacts our well-being.
So it's about creating a space that supports your mental and emotional health.
Exactly. And while it might sound a bit esoteric, there's actually some scientific evidence suggesting that feng shui principles can improve mood and sleep quality.
Really, I'd love to hear more about that.
For example, our sources mention that sleeping under a roof beam is considered a feng shui taboo. It's believed to create a sense of oppression and disrupt the flow of energy above you while you sleep.
I can see how that could negatively impact your mood, even if it's just a subconscious feeling.
Right. And there are many other feng shui principles you can apply to create a more positive and supportive environment. Things like ensuring that your home is well lit, using warm colors in your decor, and avoiding clutter can make a difference.
So it's not just about aesthetics, it's about the energy of the space and how it makes you feel.
Exactly. It's about creating a space that feels nurturing and uplifting, a sanctuary where you can recharge and feel at ease.
So TCM offers this incredibly holistic approach to depression, addressing the physical, emotional, and even environmental factors that can contribute to it.
It's about empowering individuals to take an active role in their healing journey, making lifestyle changes, and adopting practices that support their overall well-being.
Okay, we've covered insomnia and depression. Now let's move on to another common mental health challenge that affects millions: anxiety. How does TCM approach anxiety differently than Western medicine?
While Western medicine often focuses on medication and therapy to manage anxiety symptoms, TCM sees anxiety as a manifestation of imbalances in the body's energy systems, particularly those involving the heart, liver, and spleen.
Right, those three key players again.
They're essential for our emotional and mental well-being.
Okay.
And our sources mention that TCM recognizes various patterns of anxiety, including deficient vexation and running piglet.
Deficient vexation, the pattern we talked about with insomnia, is also relevant to anxiety.
Yes, it is. Remember, it's that feeling of being mentally and emotionally depleted, like your internal resources are exhausted, making you more vulnerable to anxiety.
So it's like running on empty, and that makes it harder to cope with the normal stresses of life leading to anxiety.
That's a great way to put it. And then there's running piglet, a more specific pattern characterized by a feeling of unease and restlessness, like you just can't settle or relax.
Oh, I know that feeling, that sense of being constantly on edge, like something bad is about to happen.
That's a common experience with this pattern. People with running piglet often describe palpitations, dizziness, and a sense of instability, both physically and emotionally.
So their energy is scattered, their mind is racing, they feel ungrounded.
Precisely, and TCM offers a variety of approaches to help calm that scattered energy and restore a sense of peace and stability.
Okay, let's talk about those solutions. I'm guessing herbal formulas play a role here as well.
They do. Our sources mention several formulas that are commonly used for anxiety, including Jiawei Xiaoyaosan Gi Pitang and Griji Jialongumu Liteng.
Jiawei Xiaoyaosan again, so it can be used for both depression and anxiety.
Yes, it's quite versatile. Remember, it's excellent for soothing the liver, calming the mind, and reducing agitation, all of which are relevant to both depression and anxiety.
That's good to know. It sounds like a good one to have in your TCM toolkit. What about Gi Pi Tang?
Gipitang, meaning restore the spleen decoction, is specifically designed to address spleen qi deficiency and heart blood deficiency.
So it helps to replenish those depleted energy reserves that we talked about with deficient vexation.
Exactly. By strengthening the spleen and nourishing the heart, this formula can promote a sense of grounding and stability, which is often what people with anxiety need.
What about that last one?
Oh yes, Gizi Jia Longu Mulitang.
It does have quite a name.
It translates to cinnamon twig decoction plus dragon bone and oyster shell. It's a powerful formula for calming the shen, the spirit, and reducing anxiety, especially when it's accompanied by palpitations, vivid dreams, and a feeling of heat in the chest.
So it addresses that feeling of being wired and tired that often comes with anxiety.
Yes, and it's interesting to note that this formula is also used for insomnia, highlighting how interconnected these conditions can be.
Right. Anxiety can definitely disrupt sleep. Okay, so we've got herbal formulas, but what about acupressure for anxiety?
Acupressure is another excellent tool for calming the nervous system, reducing those anxious feelings, and promoting a sense of grounding and safety.
Our sources highlight several points that can be helpful, including Ir Shen Men Senyin Jiao points along the heart meridian and LV3 Tai Chong. Let's break those down. What's special about Ir Shen Men?
Ear Shenmen, located on the ear, is a powerhouse point for calming the nervous system. It's often used in acupuncture treatments for stress, anxiety, and insomnia.
It's like a little relaxation button right on your ear.
It can be very effective.
What about Sanyu Jiao?
Senyin Jiao, meaning three yin crossing, is located on the inner leg. It's a point where three major yin meridians intersect, making it a powerful point for regulating emotions and promoting relaxation.
So it's like a central hub for calming energy.
Exactly. And stimulating points along the heart meridian can also be incredibly helpful for anxiety. These points help to calm the heart, reduce palpitations, and promote a sense of peace and well-being.
It's amazing how TCM maps out these energy pathways throughout the body and uses acupoints to influence their flow.
It's a fascinating system. And finally, there's LV3 Taichung located on the foot. It's the source point of the liver meridian, and it's known for its ability to reduce stress tension, irritability, anger, and frustration.
So it's a good one for those who experience anxiety, along with those more heated, agitated emotions.
Exactly. By stimulating these acupoints, we can create a sense of calm and grounding, helping to alleviate anxiety and promote overall well-being.
So many great tips.
Yeah.
It's like giving your body those subtle nudges to bring it back into balance.
Yeah.
Our sources also mention the benefits of tea for anxiety.
Yes, as we discussed earlier, tea, especially varieties that are naturally rich in GABA or those that are GABA enriched, can promote a sense of calm alertness.
GABA is that neurotransmitter that has calming and relaxing effects, right?
So sipping a cup of tea can be a delicious and effective way to soothe your nerves and ease anxiety.
And finally, our sources mention 5-element music therapy for anxiety as well.
Yes, certain musical tones and melodies are believed to harmonize the body's energy systems and promote a sense of balance and calm, which is exactly what someone struggling with anxiety needs.
So putting on some soothing music can be a great way to ease anxiety and promote relaxation.
It certainly can.
Okay, we've covered insomnia, depression, and anxiety. That's an impressive range of mental health challenges addressed by TCM.
And we haven't even touched on brain fog and trauma yet.
There's so much to explore. Each condition has its own unique set of patterns and remedies within the TCM framework.
It's amazing.
Let's keep going.
Oh.
I'm eager to learn more about how TCM approaches brain fog, that frustrating feeling of mental cloudiness, difficulty concentrating, and forgetfulness that so many of us experience.
Brain fog is a common complaint in our modern world, and TCM understands it through the lens of dampness and phlegm.
Dampness and phlegm, those sound a bit unpleasant.
They're not the most glamorous concepts, but they're important to understand within the TCM framework. Dampness in TCM refers to a sluggish and heavy quality in the body, like a feeling of being bogged down or weighed down.
I think we can all relate to that feeling.
I think so too, and phlegm is basically a more congealed form of dampness. It can obstruct the flow of qi and blood, leading to various health issues, including brain fog.
So it's like these substances are literally clogging up our mental machinery, making it hard to think clearly.
That's a great analogy, and our sources point to the spleen and lung as being key players in brain fog.
We've talked about the heart, liver, and kidney quite a bit. What's the role of the spleen and lung in mental clarity?
The spleen is responsible for transforming and transporting fluids in the body. So if the spleen is weak, dampness can build up, leading to that sluggish, foggy feeling.
Feels like a swamp forming in your internal landscape.
Exactly. And the lung governs qi, distributing it throughout the body, including the brain. So if the lung is impaired, the flow of qi to the brain can become compromised, contributing to brain fog.
It's like the lung is responsible for delivering fresh oxygen to the brain to keep it running smoothly.
That's a great way to think about it. And our sources also emphasize the role of diet and lifestyle in brain fog.
I'm guessing that eating a lot of heavy, greasy foods might not be the best for mental clarity.
You're right. According to TCM, consuming too many cold, raw, or greasy foods can contribute to dampness, which can worsen brain fog. It's not just about what you eat, but also how you prepare your food and the overall balance of your diet.
So we need to nourish our spleen and lung, eat a healthy diet, and stay active to keep our minds sharp. What are some of the specific solutions TCM recommends for brain fog?
There are several approaches, including herbal formulas, qigong exercises, and dietary adjustments.
Let's start with the herbal formulas. Our sources mention two in particular, Air Chentang and Lujun Zitang.
Erchentang, meaning 2H decoction, is a classic formula for resolving dampness and phlegm. It's often used for brain fog that's accompanied by digestive issues like bloating and loose stools.
So it addresses that feeling of heaviness and stagnation in both the mind and the gut.
Exactly. And then there's Lujunzitang, meaning 6 gentlemen decoction. It's a fantastic formula for strengthening the spleen and resolving dampness. It's known for improving digestion, boosting energy, and enhancing mental clarity.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great all-around tonic for anyone struggling with brain fog and low energy.
It can be very effective, and beyond herbal formulas, qigong exercises can also be incredibly helpful for brain fog.
We talked about qigong earlier. How do those gentle movements and breathing exercises help with mental clarity?
Qigong is amazing for improving circulation, reducing stress, and enhancing mental clarity. There are specific exercises that focus on breathing techniques and movements that stimulate the flow of qi to the head, which can help to clear that fog and sharpen your focus.
It's like giving your brain a gentle workout and a breath of fresh air at the same time.
Exactly. And of course, dietary adjustments are essential as well.
Right. We talked about avoiding those cold, raw, and greasy foods that contribute to dampness. What are some dietary recommendations for combating brain fog?
TCM suggests focusing on warm cooked foods to support digestion and reduce dampness, and incorporating more fermented foods into your diet can be beneficial as well.
Fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi are great for gut health, right?
You got it. And a healthy gut is crucial for optimal brain function. It's all connected.
So we've got herbal formulas, qigong exercises, and dietary adjustments. A well-rounded approach to combating brain fog.
And it highlights the importance of addressing both the root causes and the symptoms.
Now let's move on to our final topic for today, trauma. This is a complex issue, and I'm curious to hear how TCM views it.
Trauma is a deeply impactful experience, and TCM recognizes its profound effects on the body's energy systems. It can scatter our qi, disrupt the flow of blood, and create a deep energetic wound that needs careful attention.
Our sources mention that trauma can make us feel disconnected, fragmented, and even lost within ourselves.
That's a common experience. Trauma can also disrupt the flow of blood and qi to the heart, impairing our ability to heal and recover emotionally.
So it's like trauma creates this blockage in our ability to connect with ourselves and experience joy and love fully.
That's a beautiful way to put it. But TCM offers tools and practices to help us heal from trauma and restore that sense of wholeness.
I'm eager to hear about those. Our sources mention herbal formulas, acupressure, and even meditation as being helpful. Let's start with the herbal formulas. Which ones are commonly used for trauma?
Several formulas can be beneficial depending on the specific manifestations of the trauma. Sheng Mai San, meaning generate the pulse powder, is a classic formula for strengthening the heart and calming the spirit.
So it helps to restore that sense of grounding and connection that trauma can disrupt.
Exactly. It's often used in TCM to address shock and trauma and help people regain their footing.
And what about Yunnan Baiyao? I've heard of that one. It's used for a variety of things.
Yunnan Baiyao is a well-known Chinese herbal remedy that's been used for centuries to treat a variety of conditions, including trauma. It's renowned for its ability to stop bleeding, reduce pain, and promote healing.
So it addresses both the physical and energetic wounds that trauma can inflict.
Precisely, our sources also mention Shai Hu Shugan Tang, meaning bupleurum, soothing the liver decoction. This formula is often used to address liver qi stagnation and the emotional distress that can accompany trauma.
So it helps to untangle those emotional knots and allow for smoother emotional processing.
Exactly. And then there's Jia Zhu Yutang, meaning poria and pinelia drain dampness decoction. This formula helps to clear dampness and phlegm that can accumulate in the body after trauma, which can manifest as heaviness, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating.
It's like clearing the debris so the healing process can begin.
That's a great way to put it now. Beyond herbal formulas, acupressure can also be a valuable tool for healing from trauma.
We've talked about acupressure for other conditions, but how can it help with something as deep and complex as trauma?
Acupressure can be incredibly effective for calming the nervous system, reducing anxiety, and promoting a sense of grounding and safety, which are all essential for trauma recovery.
That makes sense. Trauma can make you feel like you're constantly on high alert, like you're not safe in your own body.
You're right, and acupressure can help to soothe those frayed nerves and bring you back into your body in a gentle and nurturing way.
Our sources mention specific points that are particularly helpful for trauma. What are some of those?
There's PC6 Naiguan, meaning inner gate, located on the inner wrist. It's a powerful point for calming the heart, reducing nausea, and alleviating chest tightness, which are all common symptoms associated with trauma.
So it helps to soothe that feeling of your heart racing and your chest constricting when you're triggered by something.
Exactly, and it's often used in conjunction with TB5 Waiguan, meaning outer gate located on the outer wrist together. These points promote balance and ease within the heart and pericardium energy systems.
It's like opening the gates to allow energy to flow freely again, restoring a sense of calm and peace.
That's a beautiful way to visualize it. Our sources also mention LU1 Zongfu, meaning central residence located on the chest. This point helps to open the chest, improve breathing, and release tension, allowing for deeper and more relaxed breaths.
Because when we're traumatized, we tend to hold our breath or breathe very shallowly.
That's right, and working with LU1 Zongfu can help to undo those patterns and restore a natural, easy rhythm to your breath.
And our sources also mention stimulating points along the Ren and Du meridians for trauma. Remind us again what those meridians are.
The Ren and Du meridians are two of the most important energy pathways in the body. The Ren meridian runs along the midline of the front of the body, while the Du meridian runs along the midline of the back. They're considered the primary channels for regulating the flow of qi and blood throughout the entire system.
So stimulating points along these meridians can help to restore balance, ground the energy, and promote a sense of wholeness.
Exactly. It's about reestablishing harmony throughout the entire energy system, which is essential for trauma recovery.
Our sources also talk about the 8 extraordinary channels and their role in healing trauma. What are those exactly?
The 8 extraordinary channels are a special set of meridians in TCM that are associated with deep energetic and emotional patterns. They're believed to hold the imprints of our experiences, including trauma.
So they're like the energetic archives of our lives.
That's a great way to put it, and working with these channels through acupressure or meditation can help to release those imprints and promote deep healing.
It's like gently unwinding those deeply held patterns of tension and fear that trauma can leave behind.
Exactly. And this is where TCM's mind-body approach becomes especially potent. It recognizes that trauma affects us on all levels, physical, emotional, and spiritual.
It's not just about addressing the symptoms, it's about supporting the individual's journey of healing on all levels.
You're right. And beyond the specific techniques, TCM encourages us to cultivate a lifestyle that promotes resilience and supports trauma recovery.
So things like nourishing our bodies with wholesome food, getting enough rest, practicing mindfulness, and connecting with nature can all play a role.
Absolutely. It's about creating a foundation of well-being that supports the healing process.
Wow, this deep dive has been an incredible journey. I'm amazed by the depth and breadth of TCM's understanding of mental health. It offers a truly holistic and empowering approach that addresses the root causes of these challenges and provides a wealth of tools and techniques to promote balance, harmony, and well-being.
It truly is a remarkable system, and what's so exciting is that TCM's perspective on mental health is increasingly being validated by modern scientific research.
Right, we're seeing more and more evidence that supports the mind-body connection and the importance of addressing the underlying imbalances that contribute to mental health challenges.
For example, we now know that the gut microbiome plays a significant role in mood and cognitive function, which aligns perfectly with TCM's emphasis on digestive health and the use of fermented foods.
It's like science is catching up to what TCM is known for millennia.
Exactly, and research on the nervous system and the impact of stress on the body further validates TCM's understanding of how imbalances can contribute to various mental health conditions.
That's a beautiful example of how ancient wisdom and modern science can complement each other.
It's a reminder that there are multiple ways of understanding and addressing health and well-being, and that we can learn so much from both ancient traditions and modern research.
Absolutely. And while we've covered a lot of ground today, this is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to TCM and mental health.
There's so much more to explore, from the intricacies of herbal medicine to the profound depths of qigong and meditation.
And we encourage you to continue this journey of discovery, whether you're looking for natural ways to support your mental well-being or simply curious about this ancient system of healing. TCM offers a wealth of knowledge and practices that can enrich your life.
And while we've given you an overview of the TCM approach, it's always best to consult with a qualified practitioner for personalized guidance. They can help you identify your unique patterns of imbalance and recommend the most appropriate treatments for your specific needs.
So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Imagine if we could bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science to create a more holistic and integrated approach to mental health care. TCM offers a unique perspective that can complement and enhance conventional Western approaches.
And by embracing both, we have the potential to create a more comprehensive and compassionate system of healing that honors the complexity of the human experience.
Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of TCM and mental health. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and inspiration along the way.
And we look forward to diving into more captivating topics with you on our next deep dive.
Until then, be well and take good care of yourselves. Fragile.